All right, let's talk about something we all use probably every single day, but we never really think about it. I'm talking about your garage door. Turns out this giant moving wall, has some pretty big secrets that can seriously affect your safety and, yeah, your bank account. So let's dive right in.
Okay, so to get us started, I've got a little pop quiz for you. Ready? What is the single largest, heaviest moving part of your entire house? Go ahead, think about it for a second. The answer, it might surprise you.
Yup, you got it. It's the garage door. And look, its sheer size and all the moving parts, that's exactly why it's so important. It holds the keys to your home's safety, your energy bills, and, how to avoid a crazy expensive repair bill later on. We're going to break all of that down.
So let's jump into the first big secret. How do you spot trouble before it turns into a total disaster? The thing is, a garage door rarely just gives up out of nowhere. It almost always gives you warning signs. You just have to know what you're looking for and listening for.
And this is huge. Your garage door is basically trying to talk to you through sounds. You know those squeaks, scrapes, or awful grinding noises? That's not just annoying background noise. That's your door screaming, hey, something is wrong. It's telling you there's a ton of friction or strain in the system. And oh, if you ever smell something burning coming from that motor unit, that's not a drill. That's a serious call for help.
And it's not just about the sounds, right? You got to watch how it moves. Does it take a second to respond after you hit the button? Does it kind of shudder and jerk its way up? And please look closely at this last one here. Frayed or worn lift cables. If you see any signs of that, that is a massive safety issue, like a call a pro right now kind of issue. So what's the bottom line here? A total, catastrophic garage door failure. It almost never just happens out of the blue. These warning signs, they're your chance. They're your window to get ahead of the problem before your car is trapped in the garage and you're late for work. Okay, so you hear a weird noise or see it acting funny. I know what you're thinking, because I'd think it too. I'll just look up a YouTube video and fix it myself. But honestly, with garage doors, that's a huge gamble. It can be super risky and end up costing you a whole lot more. Let's get into why that is. This chart really puts it all into perspective. On one hand, you've got the DIY route. We're talking about springs and cables that are under an insane amount of tension. One wrong move, and you could get seriously hurt. On the other hand, you have the pros. They know how to handle those dangerous parts, sure, but more importantly, they find the real problem, the root cause. So you're not just slapping a Band-Aid on it that fails a month later. Trust me, a botched DIY job almost always ends up as a way more expensive call to a professional. And really, that's what it all comes down to. This is not like fixing a leaky sink. A garage door is a seriously complex piece of machinery, and all that tension makes it dangerous. Treating it like a simple weekend project, well, it can have some pretty major consequences, both for your safety and your wallet.
Which kind of brings us to this big question. A lot of people think they only have two choices, either a small, quick repair or a super expensive full-on replacement. But what if I told you there's a third option? A really smart alternative that most people don't even know exists.
It's called refurbishment, and honestly, the best way to think of it is like a total system overhaul for your garage door. It's not just about fixing the one little thing that broke. It's about restoring and upgrading the whole system to get it running like it's brand new again. This can add years to its life and make it work so much better. So you might be asking, what exactly is included in a refurbishment? Well, as you can see, it's pretty thorough. A technician will handle the cosmetic stuff, like dents in the panels, but they also replace all the old, worn-out hardware and make sure the tracks are perfectly aligned for smooth movement. And then they go deeper, upgrading the really important stuff, like the springs and rollers, and even putting in new weather sealing, which actually helps with your home's energy efficiency.
And the benefits? They're huge. You get a door that's way quieter, it's more energy efficient, and it's a heck of a lot less likely to just break down on you. Plus, it makes your house look better from the street. And the best part, it costs way less than a full replacement.
So if you're thinking this sounds like a good idea, what should you look for in a company that does this kind of work? Well, let's take a look at LMS Garage Doors, which was mentioned in our research as a perfect example of what to keep an eye out for.
First off, experience. A company like LMS has been doing this for over 20 years. Think about that. That kind of long-term, hands-on experience is just priceless when it comes to figuring out what's really wrong with a tricky system.
And this is something you should look for with any service provider. Do they have clear values?
And more importantly, what do those values mean for you? For instance, when you see family-owned, that usually means they care more about their reputation in the community than making a quick buck. They're not going to try and sell you something you don't actually need. The whole point should be getting a real solution that lasts, at a price that makes sense.
And of course, look for things that give you peace of mind. A solid satisfaction guarantee, a free estimate so you know exactly what you're getting into before you spend a dime. Emergency service for when things go wrong at the worst possible time. These are all signs you're dealing with a real pro.
So, let's bring it all back home. What's the biggest takeaway here? It's that being proactive is absolutely everything. Listening for those little noises, watching for those weird movements, and calling in an expert before it's a full-blown emergency, that's going to save you so much stress and, yeah, a lot of money.
So if your garage door is making any of those strange sounds we talked about or acting up in any way, please don't just ignore it. The best thing you can do is get a professional to take a look with a free, no-obligation estimate. It's the perfect first step to figuring out what's going on. So I'll just leave you with this one question. What is your garage door trying to tell you?